Welcome to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley, and not coming to you from the place that you normally hear that, but we're coming live from the Victory Casino Cruises.com studio, and this is the morning after. Brought to you by Chad Barlaw, which is absolutely awesome. Very, very excited to have Chad on. We've got Roger Bengal here. We've got Big Social Ben Stout here. And we've got Sam Albuquerque. So we're here. We're taking calls. You can call us 844-225-5580 on the Dever team line, 844-225-5580. Or you can send us a text at 21232. Or you can reach me on Twitter, AP_Knightline on Twitter. And we're going to talk about Knightline, night sports, UCF sports. I'm a little, I called this Knightline the morning after because I thought maybe some of these moments would happen. I'm maybe a little hungover this morning, just possibly. So that's why on the logo, the eyes are red in the night, if anybody's ever noticed that. Anyway, so we're going to talk some XFL, some baseball, some softball, and dun-dun-dun. I wish we had the little sound effect. Basketball.
Wah, wah.
That's it, yeah. Wah, wah, wah. All right, so what's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing well. How are you? I'm glad to be here, and I feel you on the morning after thing, but it's been a little bit of a basketball hangover this past week, but hopefully we can continue to bounce back and finish this season strong. But happy to be here.
Yeah, for me, super excited to be back. I got to spend a little time over at UCF this weekend, catching some women's basketball and softball, so they're doing really well. So basketball may not have been doing so well, but softball's doing great. So super excited to talk about it.
Awesome. Sam, how are you? You're in there as well?
Pretty good. Yeah, just working on the weekends like usual, so just trying to get through this shift. We
appreciate it, man. We definitely appreciate it. All right, so I guess let's dive right into this basketball thing. Knights lost Thursday 58-75. At one point, I was watching it. I didn't watch the entire thing. I couldn't. I had to turn it off and walk away. Sometimes it's just best to walk away. It was looking like a football score at one point in the first half, and I had to go. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I noted that with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half, we had 13 points as a team.
That's pretty much where I left.
And we were down by 20, which is crazy.
Yeah, what happened? Man?
Yeah, I mean, the first 4 minutes of the game, it was a little bit back and forth. It looked like we might be able to be up for the challenge. We had we had some good defensive stands, and it looked like we were going to be able to compete. And just really from the under 16 timeout on, it just kind of all fell apart. Where this guy Eric Stevenson for Wichita State just kind of lit us up from the 3-point line. He had 17 points in the first half, and we had 20 points as a team in the first half. He hit his first three coming out of the break, and so at one point in the early second half, Eric Stevenson for Wichita State had 20 points, and we as a team had 20 points. So it was just that kind of night. We weren't sharing the ball very well on offense, and that was leading to us taking early shots in early in the shot clock, I should say. And we just kind of never could get it going, whereas the 2 games prior, we were able to finally catch our stride from a 3-point and an outside shooting standpoint, with Darren Green hitting 6 threes in the game prior. But this game just overall, we had a few bright moments with Milan and Green, but overall we just couldn't quite get it going from a shooting perspective, and we're not guarding the 3-point line on the defensive perspective.
All right. So was this kind of a mental lapse? Is that what the whole thing was? It was just, they just didn't check in for this game. They didn't get off the bus.
It certainly seemed
like it. It seemed like they're starting to just, starting to get lackadaisical a little bit.
Well, I certainly hope not, like, consistently throughout the rest of the season. I hope they don't show that type of lackadaisical or non-poise that they showed in this game. But you could visibly see and hear in Johnny Dawkins' voice in the press conference after the game that he was rather upset about his team's lack of poise and lack of kind of get after it from that perspective.
Yeah, we will get to some clips a little bit later. I want to take this phone call that we have. This is our good friend Jerry. Jerry, what's going on?
I'm trying to stay. One, glad to have you back. I know you took an extended break over the holiday. Looking forward to another wonderful year of Knightline the morning after. Number two, thank you, Chad Barlaw. I'm going to double up on that. Chad, a friend of both of ours. We appreciate his partnership both with you and with Loudmouth Nation as a whole. So thank you very much. Chad called in this week. He gave away 4 tickets to UCF. That was great of him. So looking forward to that partnership going forward. Number 3, morning after is a feeling. It is a sense of mind. It's not just because it happened the day before. But if you guys need something to crawl over, basketball is the topic. And it's the second greatest disrespectful moment in the history of UCF in this millennia. It was the tandem of Orlando Magic's own Aaron Gordon with his buddy and our favorite 7-foot basketball player, Taco Fall, being disrespected by Dwayne Wade last night and having the slam dunk contest stolen from them, the second great theft from the UCF Nation in the past 5 years. And I just thought you guys should at least throw an homage to that because it was disgusting.
Jerry, I am so glad that you called in and brought that topic up because I was going to figure out a way to weave that into the show today, and it was highway robbery in Chicago last night for Aaron Gordon with the assist from Taco Fall that should have won him the dunk contest for the second time in his career, and he got robbed of that for the second time in his career. So I agree with you, Jerry.
Well, and they used the fact that Aaron Gordon's leg may have touched Taco Fall, who's 7'6". Are you kidding me, people?
I didn't see it, but it sounds like it was travesty.
Well, supposedly it was completely off the cuff, so they didn't even practice it. So
they didn't practice it. Yeah, 100% right. Can I plug the Change.org petition?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I would hope that any of you who can could. I know my buddy Nate Bengal is on that little message board that loves me more than anything else on planet Earth. If you could share that, and then if either of you guys could tweet it or Facebook it. We put up a Change.org petition last night. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but I want the NBA to know that, like the NCAA, that Orlando's tired of being disrespected across the entire sports nation, and that, like UCF's stolen national championship, Aaron Gordon and Taco Fall's stolen slam dunk contest last night has torqued all of us off here in Mickeytown. All right, guys. Looking forward to hearing the show. I'm sorry I interrupted.
It's all good. Anytime.
I've had an ulcer all freaking night. All right, take care.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Really appreciate it. I love that guy, by the way. That guy is awesome. He was instrumental. We would not be here on ESPN 580 Orlando if it was not for him. I greatly appreciate him calling in, obviously, and anytime wanting to discuss anything Knights, especially. And thank you, Jerry.
Starting a petition. He was heated.
Well, that's good.
Love it.
I mean, I guess I don't know the whole story. I mean, I'm not aware of this. I do not pay attention really at all to the NBA. So I guess I probably should because we're getting, flack there too as far as the Knights go. So.
Well, I mean, it was kind of a cool moment. I mean, Taco, he was sitting courtside, and they just brought him up, and Aaron Gordon apparently had not said a word to him about this. They had not practiced it. And this guy, I mean, he's 7'6", right, and growing. And so Aaron set him up in front of the basket, literally jumped, like did a couple steps, jumped over his head, and dunked the ball. So it was completely unexpected, completely off the cuff, and
he
everybody
jumped over Taco Fall.
Yeah, so Taco
And
was
cleared
holding the ball
Taco,
behind his
like
head.
without
and
a
he jumped over him.
trampoline or anything.
No.
Like literally jumped
Straight
over.
up jumped over him. And Taco was wearing a fresh suit, by the way.
Like
yeah.
legs and all went over him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that. And I mean, I don't watch the NBA, but I'm impressed.
If we're being real, Taco kind of ducked his head a little bit, but
Yeah.
he had the ball right behind his neck. He grabbed it off of his neck while he jumped, grabbed the ball, and then slammed it. And everybody went nuts. Social media went nuts. Everybody went nuts. And then this morning I saw, or last night and then this morning, everybody is all up in arms because he got robbed.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody then that wants to talk about this as well. 844-225-5580, 844-225-5080. You can talk about that with us. You can talk about anything Knights stuff. And heck, we'll talk about anything today. So if you got something on your mind, that's the number. Give us a call. And we'll continue.
I'll just quickly say just the context of that for UCF fans in general is the NBA All-Star Weekend and All-Star Saturday Night is one of the biggest events in sports. And so there's a lot of eyeballs on that screen, a lot of people watching it. And just the fact that Aaron Gordon unplanned pulled Taco Fall onto the court. He did that not only because Taco's awesome, but Taco is somebody who gains a lot of attention and has gotten a lot of attention since he's been in the NBA or in the G League. And that's exciting for us to see as UCF fans that, on the biggest stage on All-Star Saturday Night, Taco's kind of at the center of it, literally. So it's pretty cool.
Well,
Absolutely.
the crazy thing about it, too, I mean, he's kind of gained his own following within the NBA, right? So you've got all of these NBA roster guys, the guys on the Celtics, they're all rooting for him. You got all the Celtics fans rooting for him, the coaches rooting for him. And so he's kind of built this cult following of not only fans, but also players. You had a bunch of the players that submitted him for the All-Star voting. He garnered a lot of votes on the All-Star voting, and he didn't even make the futures roster. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's kind of like this like subculture of Taco fans that are kind of building him up. And then for Aaron too, I mean, there's obviously the connection with Orlando, with the Magic. We had Magic players at last year's games sitting in the arena, so they're all starting to support each other, and there is actually obviously some close connections between the Magic and ownership and the board that we have at UCF. So there's a lot of interconnectedness there. We're doing a much better job of being connected with the local community and pro sports teams. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a job there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, Ben, I assume that you've been watching Taco Fall as close as you possibly could. I mean, I know you're a big fan of his.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been keeping up with him, and as I've said before, I think that what's really special is about not only his personality is shining through, and the world is kind of getting to see what we already knew as Knights fans, that that he's just such a great individual and great person, but he's really living up to the billing from a performance standpoint. There's multiple games in the G League where he has, played not only the whole game or whatever, but he's showed a lot of promise. And there's a game this year, a couple weeks ago, they scored like 26, had 16 rebounds, about 5 blocks, 6 blocks. I mean, he's really coming into his own as a basketball player, and it's just great to see from our perspective. And I know that he's going to continue to grow and should be on a NBA roster full-time sometime in the near future, I would hope.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of questioning about, because I know he's doing the G League thing, and what I've seen is impressive. What I've seen is different than how he played here. He's definitely taken it up a notch, and that's hard to do with a guy that's that big.
His offensive game, I mean,
has gone up big time.
Way better. I mean, he's got that little baby hook he's got now that he's got going. He's got, he can catch the pass on the move and he'd take an extra step and then dunk it. Like where before he was pretty much stationary. He had to be within like 3 feet of the rim and then he'd just stand up and dunk it. His evolution as a offensive threat, he's always been a defensive threat. The guy's 7'6". I mean, I remember I played against Dirk Nowitzki. He's 7'1", and he was playing center. I'm 5'10". me being able to get anything in on that as a guard is difficult. But you got a guy at 7'6". He's going to block the shots, clog up the lanes. What's different is that offensive game that he's had, and that was the knock on him before. I mean, he would put the ball on the floor, then he would pick it up, someone would swipe it, whatever. All of that's gone. I mean, he's really doing well with the coaching. I think he's averaging like 13 points a game in the G League. He's doing well when he's playing with the Celtics when he's called up. So, I mean, he's taking advantage of the opportunity, and he's a great guy.
All right, hey, let's take a little bit of a break here, and we will come back, and we'll talk more about this. I'm going to look this video up because I have to see this. We'll be right back on Knightline the morning after.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
This guy takes some time and writes, I thought you and your stewed guts got canceled. If not, you need to be, Le Bastard.
You don't get the show.
Le Bastard's been out this for 20 years with his stewed guts.
Still here.
Dan Le Batard, weekdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
Get Employee Pricing Plus at the new Seminole Chevrolet. You pay what we pay and make no payments for 90 days.
Details at SeminoleChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
It's the deal you want at Seminole Chevrolet.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Premier Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Schwartz, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Premier Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Premier Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your first visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 407-270-3940. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Premier Men's Medical Center now at 407-270-3940. That's 407-270-3940.
This is Karen. She has an expansive piece of land where she saddles up daily, and she keeps it in shape on a John Deere 3E tractor. With attachments that hook up with ease, getting the job done is never a hassle. Whether she's putting up fence posts, grading her horse arena, or even cleaning up storm damage, Karen runs with us. Because this is more than just land. It's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 3E tractor for just $139 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Whether it's on AM 580, FM 96.5 HD2, Alexa, or Google Home, we are everywhere you hear audio. ESPN 580 Orlando, Orlando's home for the biggest events in sports.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after, on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, back on Knightline the morning after. I am Andrew Phegley. Knightline the morning after is brought to you by our good friend Chad Barr at Chad Barr Law. If you have anything that deals with an accident, a slip and fall, anything like that, definitely give him a call. Anything involving your insurance company, give him a call. He will help you out. He is a really good dude. He's a lawyer, but a really good dude, and that makes a big, big difference as far as I'm concerned. All right, so we're live from the Victory Casino Cruises.com studio. We're taking your call, 844-225-5580 on the Dever team line, or you can text us at 21232 as well. We were talking about Taco Fall. We got Roger Bengal and Ben Stout and Sam Albuquerque with us, talking about Taco Fall and this controversy of this dunk contest with Aaron Gordon. And I just watched the video. I had not watched it before. Wow. It's crazy. How they didn't win. I mean, I'm stuttering here. How they did not win that contest. Jerry was right. He called in earlier talking about this. Crazy.
Yeah, what was really nuts is that Aaron Gordon had perfect scores, perfect 50s on all of his 5, I believe, previous dunks. And that was the only one where he didn't get a 50 on. And not only did he not get a 50, but it was one deciding vote that was different than his competitor, and that was Dwayne Wade, who happened to play most of his career for the Heat. And the competitor that won played for the Heat, so you can let that decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Shady.
And supposedly Jerry let us know about a change.org thing that's out there, a petition, so you can go there and check that out, and we'll get that up on our social media and stuff like that. But anyway, we should probably go back a little bit and talk about the Knights basketball. Taco Fall is involved, before, so obviously that's why we're talking about that. He's one of our guys, once a night, always a night, and all that stuff. But we need to talk a little bit more about this loss. I want to play this clip really quick, and this is Dawkins directly after the game.
Give them a lot of credit, but Wichita State came ready to compete, and I didn't think we put our best foot forward tonight. I think we came out there and we tried to shoot our way to victory, and that, defend the way we need to defend. That's how we win. And I think we got away from that. We tried to outscore them instead of trying to defend, and let the game get away from us in that regard. And then rebounding-wise, I thought they out-muscled us. They were able to get extra shots when they needed them. The rebound total for us is probably the most lopsided total we've had since this season. So disappointed in our rebounding ability against them tonight, and we have to be better.
All right, well, you heard it from the man himself. They got away from what they normally do, and that's what did it. Now, is that a coaching thing that his team got away from what they normally were doing? I know that they weren't coached to be doing what they were doing out there. Did they? I mean, I don't really understand how that happens.
Well, I think one of the reasons why Dawkins is so frustrated is because he articulated in the press conference that they prepared for exactly what happened on the court. So you got Eric Stevenson, great three-point shooter. He was shooting threes. Why was he so wide open, right? So they prepared to guard him on the three-point line. Wichita State's one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. We gave up 11 offensive rebounds to them. And so you can prepare all you want, but you've got to have those guys stepping up on the court and saying, we're going to execute this game plan. And I think that's what he was frustrated about.
Well, I think it's also discipline, right? I mean, clearly, if you don't make shots, you don't make shots. Our guys have been kind of up and down. We've got some new guys in the rotation, all of that fun stuff, right? But in order to offset that, we lean on our defense, and that's what Coach has been kind of talking about the whole time. With Stevenson going out there, they were shooting 48%. Now, you don't shoot 48% unless you have some defensive breakdowns. It just doesn't happen. If you contest a shot, I mean, one person can get on a hot streak, but a team that is shooting 48% is just bonkers. That's ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got, our first half play, we were down by 20. Our second half play, we played a lot closer. It was within 2 points of each other. The two teams were within 2 points of each other in the second half. But it's very difficult to surmount a 20-point deficit to a team like Wichita State. Their assists, they always had the extra pass. They play smart with the ball. Our assists were way down. I think it was 10 to 17 on the assists. our 3-point percentage, you live and die by it, right? If we only shot 28%. Now, Wichita only shot 30% despite Stevenson's basically barrage. But then again, it's more important to us to get those points. When we keep the opposing team around 60 points, we're going to be in a game. This was 75 points that we allowed to have happen, and that's our game. It's defense. It's not offense. We're too hit and miss on that. It didn't help that Seas was out, but Tony Johnson went 1 of 10 in the first half. There's a reason why Johnny Dawkins is all about the defense, and we need a leader. We need that B.J. Taylor that's going to pick everybody up, and we just don't have it. Johnny talked about that as well. We just don't have that B.J. Taylor type player. Seeds kind of did it the game before, but this time it wasn't the case. And then lastly, defensive glass. They out-rebounded us on the defensive glass. We did not get second chance points. So if you're shooting early and tough shots early and not making that extra pass and not getting open looks, that's going to lead to a failure as far as offense is concerned. And again, that's discipline.
Yeah, and you're just not going to win many games when you get out rebounded by 17 rebounds. I mean, and half of that at least, if not 3/4 of that, is all effort and just putting a body on somebody and going to get the basketball. And so I agree with all your points. So, I mean, I just don't understand how this team can do so well in a couple of games and then take a couple of games off, and to do two more games really well and take a couple of games off. I don't understand how that happens. This is what's frustrating to me as a fan of college basketball and a fan of UCF, how that happens. Well, and I don't know what to do to control that and all that stuff. So very quickly here, go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No, I was just going to say, when you're living and dying by the three, we don't have an inside presence that's dominant right now, right? So in the past, we've had Taco, we've had other bigs, and we don't have that right now. Colin Smith, he's a good player, but he's being played too because he's the only big that we have that really does anything. So if you look at the last two games, where did we win? We won on the perimeter, right? We were shooting threes. We were having hot streaks. If that shooting isn't there, you have to have the defense, and that's all about consistency and discipline.
All right, hey, we're going to take a little bit of a break here again, and then we'll be right back. We're going to continue to talk about this. We got some softball results coming up, baseball, and then we'll get back to basketball as well.
Coming up Monday, the latest from Week 2 of the XFL. Plus, NBA All-Star Weekend recap, what's next in the Major League Baseball sign-stealing scandal, plus who won the weekend. Go look at Wingo, Monday, beginning at 6 on your Alexa smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline and Knightline Postgame Live. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Get employee pricing plus at the new Seminole Toyota. Plus, get cash back like $1,250 on 2020 Camry and Corolla, or $2,500 on 19 Highlander.
And no payments for 90 days. Details at SeminoleToyota.com.
Get the deal you want at Seminole Toyota.
This is Karen. She has an expansive piece of land where she saddles up daily, and she keeps it in shape on a John Deere 3E tractor. With attachments that hook up with ease, getting the job done is never a hassle. Whether she's putting up fence posts, grading her horse arena, or even cleaning up storm damage, Karen runs with us. Because this is more than just land. It's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 3E tractor for just $139 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Adopt U.S. Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C. Look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D. Show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org/FL. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Whether it's on AM 580, FM 96.5 HD2, Alexa, or Google Home, we are everywhere you hear audio. ESPN 580 Orlando, Orlando's home for the biggest events in sports.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, we are back. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're back on Knightline the morning after, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Give him a call or look him up online. And if you have any things that you need to deal with a slip and fall or anything like that, Chad Bar is your guy. Auto accidents, all that. We are live from the Victory Casino Cruises.com studios. We're taking your calls, 844-225-5580 on the Dever team line, or your text 21232. And we were talking just a little while ago about basketball at UCF and this debacle of getting beaten 58-75 by Wichita and doing well the week before or earlier in the week or whatever it was, playing against Tulsa. Looked really good, a team that was really good. This is going to be my hot take right here. I'm going to give a little bit of a hot take. I think that the ebb and flow of this team, because they do so well for a couple of games and then they literally almost, I guess I can say, suck for a couple of games. I think that this all has to do with coaching. I think these players, for some reason, are not getting something that they need. Something is not being said. Something's not being done that prevents them from doing the right thing consistently. Consistency is the key, because we know that they can do it. We know that they can do it because we've seen it. Why can't they do it for 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row, 3 games in a row? They can do it for 2. I don't understand. This is what I'm confused about. And it's starting to kind of bother me because we know that they can do it.
Well, you have a point. I mean, look at the Kelvin Simpsons of the world, right? Everywhere he goes, he succeeds. Now, part of that is some of these coaches are cheating. If you ain't cheating, you aren't winning, right? But on top of that, they have a very consistent, hard mentality. Coach, to me, he will get frustrated and he'll show a little bit of flair on the sidelines, but most of the time he's reserved. I'm wondering if that translates into the locker room as well, right? He's someone you respect. He's someone that everybody in the NBA and the community respects. But at the same time, where's that fire? Where's tearing off your tie? Where's tearing off your jacket? Where's that fire to get them lit up? I mean, look at the bench. A lot of times when we're doing well or we're in tough situations, the bench has no energy. If you're looking at those players on the sideline, they're not fired up. They're not into it. They're not getting into it. We need someone to light a fire, that's for sure.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not calling for fire Johnny Dawkins. I'm not saying
I would
that.
hope not.
No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that. I know that there probably are people out there that are saying that, though. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, where is the consistency? And I think that it would have to come from him first to make this happen.
Yeah,
I know it's not last year's team. I know that.
Exactly. But, I mean, to be fair, there were certain groups of I would call it a vocal minority of Knight fans that if we had a bad game last year, they were calling for Johnny.
Well, that was ridiculous.
That's
totally ridiculous.
But,
ridiculous.
But by the same token, just to kind of respond to what you said there, Roger, Johnny Dawkins, that he's not that type of personality where he's going to be, extremely animated. He's going to rip off his tie and all that stuff. He's a different type of competitor. He's more even-keeled, and that's true. But you saw it in the game against Wichita State this past week where Matt Milon, we were going on a run in the second half. We went from being down 18 points, I think, and all of a sudden we were down 10 because we had back-to-back threes. We had a steal, Dazon hits a bucket, and we're looking like we might be able to cut it here and see if we can make a game of it. And right at that moment, Matt Milon gets a clean block on somebody on the baseline, and they called a foul for him, and Johnny Dawkins went berserk on the sideline.
He's
and
done it
quite
a few
frankly,
times.
he should have.
Yeah.
He picks his moments right, and that's something that I really like about him is that he leaves no doubt that he is a fiery competitor, but he just goes about it consistently a different way than what you see with Calvin Sampson and what you see with this Bobby Hurley or not Bobby Hurley, the guy from UConn that's just out of this world.
Well,
crazy.
that guy's out of his mind.
Yeah.
What about one of the players stepping up and being that fire on the court, getting animated and stuff like that? What about that? I mean, if it's not going to come from Coach Dawkins, it could come from a player.
And I think that's the biggest, and I hate to sound like a Dawkins apologist when I keep talking about the players, but that's exactly what we're missing this year is that player that is a fiery competitor, that alpha dog that can carry through the coaching that they're getting in the locker room and on the sideline and et cetera, and carry that through on the court where you can say, call out a fellow teammate when they missed, they went underneath a screen when they should have fought above it and put a hand up in somebody's face, when they give up a three, when they give up an offensive rebound, come together and say, guys, we're letting this slip away. And I just don't see that consistently from any of our players this season. I'm hoping that moving forward we can see it, but we just haven't quite seen it this year, and that's the problem.
But that goes back to leadership, right? So you have on-the-court leadership, and you've got the coaching sidelines, right? And as a coach, you have to be flexible enough and understand that enough that if you don't have the fire in the locker room, you've got to provide the fire somehow. So I agree with you. I love Coach Dawkins, his technical ability. He's a great game day coach. I respect him. He's a smart guy. But at the same time, as a leader, you have to be flexible, and it doesn't matter what you're in. If you're talking about business, if you're talking about anything else, you have to be flexible to be able to pick up, understand what your group of people are giving you, because that culture is going to change, especially in basketball when you have people going in and out of the program every year, right? You've got to be able to pick up your bootstraps and pick up the team and kick their rear ends every once in a while when they're falling flat, because we do not have a senior leader right now that will do that. We do not have a BJ Taylor. Colin's not that guy, and we were leaning on him to be that guy. He's not the enforcer in the middle. That's just not who he is.
Speaking of Colin, let's hear a clip real quick of Colin after the game.
Taking a loss is always disappointing. I think I said this before, I hate losing more than I like to win, and anytime I'm losing, whether it's at basketball, chess, checkers, I'm always be upset. So, I mean, one of those last two games did give us a confidence boost, but this one definitely hurt because I feel like we had the right mindset going into it. We just didn't execute at the end of the day.
All right. Well, I mean, he's obviously upset about it, but that's, he's not the guy to get excited and all that stuff. You can tell by that clip, and that's why I played that clip right there because we were just talking about that. He's not the guy to get excited. There has to be somebody on that team that can step up and do this. I think that's what it is, even more than everything else. But it's Johnny Dawkins' responsibility to find that guy and to talk to that guy. Step up. Hey, dude, come here. We need to talk. Somebody's got to do this. I can't do it all from the sideline. Right. I can't do all of this myself. Somebody needs to step up.
Well, we've been talking about this is when, and I hate to say this, I'm not going to say that Johnny lost the locker room or anything like that, right? But as far as expectations are concerned, right? If your expectations for the season are gone, the NIT's gone, right? The NCAA tournament's gone. CBI is questionable, right? if those expectations go away, are your players just playing to play, or are they out there with any kind of fire to something to play for? And that's kind of where I feel this team is right now. Is Johnny's got to pick them up, make sure that they're building for the future, because they're all going to be back next year. It's not like last year where we lost everybody, right? And you got the freshmen going in there. You've got the freshmen going in there, and everything else going on. We've got to get that together. We've got to get them fired up, and Johnny's got to be that leader when we don't have one.
Yeah, we need a player like if you go back to football, we need somebody like Nate Evans. Remember how fired up he would get? He even got people bashing on him for yelling at one of the guys when he was down on the field.
Right.
Where is that guy in basketball? Yeah,
you would hope that it comes from the guard position, and you've seen flashes this year of it potentially being a Cesar DeJesus. I think going into this season, we were hoping that would be one of the grad transfers, especially Dazon Ingram. But we found out real quick that that's just not his personality. He's a quiet guy, and along this line of thinking, I've said it numerous times before on Knightline talking with you guys, is every single player on this team, with maybe the exception of the three freshmen, up until this point in their college career, of course, Cesar DeJesus, Colin Smith, Dazon Ingram, Matt Milan, these have all been guys that have been second, third options prior to this season. And you're hoping that now that they get the opportunity to be a top dog, an alpha dog, that they step into that role naturally and organically. Unfortunately for all of us, it hasn't happened with any of them. And so the coaching staff can shake them all they want, saying, hey, guys, I need somebody to step up, but just nobody seems to be willing to take that first step. And I think that probably a lot of things that we don't see in practices and in preparation for a game where maybe somebody did step up and say, hey, I need to be that leader. And then we saw the results of that when they rattle off 1 or 2 wins in a row, 2 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row. But it just hasn't happened consistently this year, unfortunately, because that's not their personality.
What are we going to see Wednesday at 7 p.m. against Cincinnati? Do we know? It's Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, literally.
Well, yeah, I don't think that we know exactly what we're going to see, unfortunately.
You never know with these guys.
But they're on the road at a really tough opponent. If they don't get up for this game, this is
If you can't get up for that game, you can't get up for any game.
Well, yeah, this is beyond what we're playing for at the end of the season. This is about respect. This is about respecting the guys that come before you and respecting yourselves as a competitor. What better opportunity to go into Cincinnati when no one is going to count you in that game, and go there and try to put it on them and shock them and see what can happen. You just hope that you see that fire and fight that, quite frankly, has been a signature of Dawkins' teams. We just haven't seen it consistently this year.
All right. Well, yeah. Something has to change. Obviously. They've got a few more games left. They sit right now, I think, 13-11. They still are higher in the win column than they aren't, and that's a good thing. But the 4-8 in the conference play is not good enough.
It's a mentality. Look at Mitch Cronin's teams. They weren't always, or Mick Cronin's teams. They weren't always the most talented team on the floor, but they would beat you up. They would rob you, and they had that mentality that they were going to beat you, and they weren't just going to beat you. They were going to beat you badly, and they were going to do anything that they needed to do that. Mick is, again, one of those guys that are a little off the old rocker, but those teams had that fire. You knew what you were getting with a Mick Cronin team. Johnny wants a defensive team. We don't have the fire that Mick Cronin's teams do, that Calvin Sampson's teams do, that any of those other teams do. That's what, to me, is missing in that coaching paradigm, because everything else, Johnny's got. He's a smart guy. He's a great leader, great representative of the university.
I love him, by the way. It has nothing to do with not loving him, but just something's got to change here.
Who are we going to be?
Right.
That's the question.
That's what he needs to. I think that's what he needs to ask him. Something like that. He needs to sit everybody down and ask him. Who are we going to be? That's a great thing that he could ask. All right, let's take a break here real quick. We'll be right back on Knightline the morning after. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball and softball, all that stuff coming up on the last segment, Knightline the morning after.
The best of the best converge in Chi-Town as Giannis and LeBron get set to captain the East and the West.
Team LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic, and James Harden.
In the 2020 NBA All-Star Game.
Giannis's team, Joel Embiid, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, and Trae Young.
Along with a tribute to a legend in L.A. The NBA All-Star Game. Presented by Bolt 24. Tonight beginning at 7 on ESPN 580 and FM 96.5 HD2.
Island H2O Live, a new wave of water park.
Experience the next generation of fun at Island H2O Live. You choose the music. You choose the lighting. And you choose where to share your memorable moments at Florida's newest and most immersive water park.
Island H2O Live.
Now open in Kissimmee, located off US 192 and State Road 429 on Inspiration Boulevard.
Island H2O Live.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Premier Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Premier Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Premier Men's Medical Center now at 407-270-3940, 407-270-3940. That's 407-270-3940.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Coming up Monday, the latest from Week 2 of the XFL. Plus, NBA All-Star Weekend recap. What's next in the Major League Baseball sign-stealing scandal? Plus, who won the weekend? Go look a wingo. Monday, beginning at 6 on your Alexa smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN 580 Orlando.
And now, back to Knightline, the morning after on ESPN 580 Orlando, WDBO. Call now at 844-225-5580 or text at 21232.
All right, we are back on Knightline the morning after. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're brought to you by Chad Barr Law. Look him up for any slip and falls, car accidents, anything like that. We're very, very excited to be brought to you by him. Very, very good guy. So if you need help in your car accidents and stuff like that, definitely give him a call. We're live from the VictoryCasinoCruises.com studio as well, the only legal sports book in Central Florida, which is really cool as well. We're taking calls, 844. I was about to give my phone number out. You can call me on that too. 844-225-5580, 844-225-5580, or your text 21232. We have a call. Andrew from Oviedo is on the line. Andrew, what's going on, my man?
Doing good, guys. How about yourself?
Good.
Well, I figured since you guys beat the basketball analysis to death, I thought it was to talk about baseball. I was kind of curious. I mean, I've loosely followed UCF baseball probably since '07, and it's just I'm curious if you think this team is the team to finally get us over the hump to actually, not necessarily in the American, but possibly in the NCAA tournament. Do you think that this team, now that we're more healthy than we were last year, can possibly go the distance, or is this a close but no cigar season?
Roger is over here. Night Bengal is waving his hand like, he wants to be picked on, so I'm going to let him go with this one.
Pick me, pick me, pick me. No, but to answer your question, do I think that's the case? No. Do I think it's a building year? Yes. Remember, we lost some of our heavy hitters last year. One of the challenges that we've had is last year our pitching depth wasn't what it needed to be, and we had some disappointments on the pitching side. So with that, we didn't have Joe Sheridan last year. We had some guys go out with injury. With that, when you're playing baseball and you're trying to play championship baseball and be on the road to Omaha, you need both hitting and pitching, and specifically pitching. These guys, this year, we've got much more pitching depth, right? We've got some guys that we brought in. They seem to be getting good velo going. We've got Joe Sheridan back, first time in 21 months. The hitting was the big question mark for this year. So we had Dalton Wingo back. We lost some of our heavy hitters to transfer and also leaving to go to the MLB through the draft. We seem to have some decent hitters out there. Jostin hit our first homer for the season this season. So, again, we don't quite know because there's a lot of new pieces on the hitting side. And Siena, the difference between a team like Siena and the difference between a team like us is they have one ace. And you saw that in the first game. It was a close game the first game. The rest of the time, it's been bombs away. So we won't really know until we get to a better team that's more competitive with a better pitching staff. I will say, though, Greg Lovelady has a lot of confidence in his pitching. What I've seen so far out of them has been really, really good. I expect that to be a strength. We'll see where the hitting comes in. Against Siena, we've done well.
All right, well, 3 games in the books so far. A win on Friday night, 2-1. A win on Saturday, 2 wins on Saturday. Actually, they played a doubleheader, 11-4 and 9-1. So it seems like there's some offense going there. They play again today at 1 p.m. So coming up here, pretty quickly right after we're over. You can get out there still at John Giuliano Park. It's a beautiful little baseball park. If you haven't been out there, you need to go.
Beautiful
Even if
weather.
you're listening and you're not really a Knights fan, but you're a baseball fan, you can go out there and see a good baseball game, cheap concessions and all that stuff, and have a really good time. It's beautiful out there.
The other thing I'll say, too, and Lovelady's kind of talked about this, and I know Knightline's kind of talked about this as well. In baseball, recruiting is different. Mm-hmm. You start recruiting as freshman, sophomore, junior. Well, not even juniors, really freshman and sophomore. These guys are watching the circuit. They're watching these kids and what their velo is the freshman, sophomore years. Lovelady is just now getting to the point where he's bringing his own recruits in. We had a lot of JUCO transfers the last couple of years to fill holes, but now you're starting to see what his recruiting classes will do. So what that means is we've got a lot of new faces on this roster, a lot of young faces on this roster. So, are we going to contend for a regional? I don't think so this year, but we'll be close.
Yeah, I want to quickly say 2 things on that transfer front. It looks like Colton Gordon, our ace, is really lived up to that role. He's a JUCO transfer, and he came in on Friday night as our ace and hit 10 strikeouts, which is fantastic. He was the reason why we were able to win 2-1. And then if you're looking for a guy to root for as a Knights fan, you don't know exactly much about this baseball team. Our leadoff hitter Jeffrey Pena is a guy that came over to this country from the Dominican Republic at 17, didn't know a lick of English. He's got a close to a 4.0 grade point average. He's a fantastic guy, and he was used sparingly last year, and he came in this year. He worked his way to the leadoff hitter spot, so he's a guy that is really easy to root for.
All right, quickly going to go into softball, just very, very quickly here. 8-2 overall so far on a 3-game win streak. Playing the games at home pretty much. Indiana University, a couple wins over them, a win over Clemson, win over Duke. Lost to Washington State, but that was the number 1 team in the entire country. Wins over Iowa State, Villanova, Iowa State again, and today at 1:30 p.m., they are in action against FAU. And, yeah, so that's going on out there. All kinds of stuff going on out there today, out there at UCF for ball sports. Softball, softball and baseball. All right, well, thank you, Andrew, for your call, by the way. Thank you, Jerry, for your call. This has been another good show, I believe. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Sam, for being here. And I think that pretty much is going to sum this up. We're going to be back in the same exact spot next week, 10 to 11 a.m. on ESPN Orlando 580. I love being here, and I love that you guys are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.